DreamHack Masters Winter is brought to you by Intel, Corsair, Monster Energy, MSI, and U.S. Air Force.
Welcome back, everybody. We are going into the North American side of things here at the DreamHack Masters Winter 2020. We have seen some madness come out from the region so far, and this time around I expect no different. Me, Maniac, and Pimp have been enjoying the madness. We've been understanding a lot. We've been learning a lot for sure as well. But yesterday, we were given a bit of a treat at least, Pimp.
Yeah, I think we saw a well-playing Team 1 going up against Year Gaming, a game that was back and forth all the time. Two teams who really wanted to win. You could feel the nerve winning the game, and you could also say that Team 1, so far, from what we've seen, played some quite decent Counter-Strike, team play oriented. They were good individuals, and there was quite a lot of moments where I thought to myself, okay, it maybe is not as bad as we thought it would be.
They could be our favorites. Based on these two first days, Team 1, they've really looked impressive, and you're right, James. This has been a learning experience. We're discovering new players, at least personally, and it's refreshing to see new ways to think the game, a bit more aggressive than what we used to. But you know what? I'm all up for the madness. Let's do it.
Madness is what it's all about, right? But for everyone on the Twitch channel right now, everyone watching, we've got a sports buff quiz going on for everyone at home. And the question that I have for you guys is, what was the deciding map in the finals between Vitality and Fnatic? Was it Dust 2, Inferno, Mirage, or Nuke? Guessing time. Pimp, any idea? Probably not, because you don't care about Vitality, but this man's very biased.
I would have said Cobblestone, but...
Yeah, it's a long time ago since Cobblestone.
Oh, why did you have to mention Cobblestone? No, I'm getting all nostalgic. Oh, where's Cobblestone?
That was your turn.
Bring it back.
Bring it back.
Bring it back.
Should we take a look at the bracket though and understand actually what's going on so far? We're back on Group A. Yesterday was a bit of Group B action. And today we are starting off with Chaos taking on Rebirth. Chaos, we saw them go on forward. There was a chance for the Rugrats to actually potentially beat them down, but the Rats didn't quite make it happen.
Nah, I think we were a little bit disappointed with Chaos. Coming into this tournament, we thought them to be the big favorites, and we heard in the interview afterwards as well that right now they're not too certain what their future holds. Maybe they're not going to be together anymore. They're not really practicing. A couple of the players are spending more time in Valorant, so it kind of reflected in the game. It wasn't as impressive as I would have liked it to be.
No, and we have to take a moment to say Rebirth is actually here in that matchup instead of Triumph. That game Chaos versus Triumph was the IM Beijing Grand Final for NA, but they did not make the cut. Rebirth creating the surprise, the upset. It was 3 very hard-fought map, and I'm looking forward to discovering these guys.
Well, I'm looking forward to discovering more of the madness that is Chaos. Chaos by name, Chaos by nature, because this team right now is in turmoil. I think that's the only way to put it. You are a team who said to us live on the interview after you won, John G, all respect to him, he was pretty out there, right? He was real. He was
honest.
He was honest. He was keeping it real, and I'm always down for a bit of that. But a bit of a problem he was saying is, we don't know what's happening. We don't know what's going to even happen after this event if we're still going to be a team together. And some of us are playing Valorant.
We could see it in the game though, right? You could directly translate that into the way they were playing Counter-Strike. He also did say that we practice a scrim once in a while, so they're not really putting in the hours, and you could see that on the server. It was so sporadic,
basic.
It was so all over the place, and it wasn't really the chaos we would have liked to see.
Look, I think it's easy to stand on the high ground, morally speaking. I try not to do that, but still, I'll still say for these 5 players that we have right here, even though your future might be in disarray, right? I can accept that. But the thing is, individually, think about it. Maybe the team is not going to long last together.
Window of opportunity.
Exactly. You can make a name for yourself. You can make sure that whoever's making the change next in these top dog teams, maybe they think about you. Wait a minute, this John J guy, quite aggressive. We might hit him. You have an opportunity here to have people look at you and take notes of you. So maybe play Valorant after the tournament.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with that, right? Wait for the tournament to go down. But you know what? We do want to hear from Zephyr from Chaos. Maybe he's going to give us a different spin on things.
My performance that that series was terrible. I mean, I underperformed, but my team still managed to, perform and help the whole team out. We haven't been practicing for the last couple days. I mean, we're just off. That's about it. Hopefully we can do better in the next one.
As Cobra, he's managing to make it work, but Marky, he's hanging on, he's hanging strong, and there's headshots delivered. Zeppa.
Triumph is definitely the team we want to play because they actually practice, like they actually want to try. Rebirth on the other end is just like a pug team, It's just like Rugrats. It's not gonna be fun playing.
It's not going to be fun to play. Even he knows that these teams aren't even practicing. He sounds so unhappy with the situation.
I've never heard a reason such as, I want to really play these teams because, they practice.
Yeah, I want to play the better team.
Oh my, oh my. Well, is that what we're supposed to expect here from this game, being a messy, scrappy, hands-on type of Counter-Strike? Because we know Chaos can do it. It was dangerous in their first game, but I think they kind of mastered the Chaos, no pun intended.
That's right, coming in with a positive mindset. I really, really tried to tell myself, it's going to be a great game. It's going to be a chance for Chaos to redeem themselves. But, saying in an interview that we don't want to play the PUC team, we want to play against a team that actually practice, it kind of sets the scene for what we can expect here. If this is not going to be scrappy, then I guess we're all going to be positively surprised.
Well, let's see if we can be positively surprised about Rebirth, because they are a team that has a name like Rebirth. It gave me a good positive information of like, yeah, they're going to see some trying out here. Then Zeppa just slapped me down and said that they are a PUG team and they're not really practicing. But they did beat Triumph, and that has some merit to it, surely.
Maybe they're good. Maybe they're a good PUC team. Maybe they have some individuals, as Maniac we're alluding to, that, seizes the opportunity, thinks, okay, maybe as a team we're not going to be, together, we're not going to put in the hours, but I, as a player, can go in on a server, I can show how good I am to everyone watching, and maybe, a team like Team 1, or whoever there may be out there, who stays around within the North American Counter-Strike scene, will look at you and think, I could use that player on my team.
Look, they beat Triumph in the best of 3, and that's all I need to know to put the statement that they are legit in that stage of the tournament. Now, they have to show us that they have what it takes to make it to playoff. It's been BO1, I might have a different opinion. Could have been, can write it off as a fluke. But if you beat Triumph in a best of 3, again, as I said, very tight, close core line, at the end of the day, you have the merit to be here.
And we kept talking about the whole thing of some of these other teams trying to make a name for themselves. Is there ever a potential where you look at a PUG team and you can say, actually, okay, they get some good results, they make something happen, that they might become more than a PUG team? Can we look at the positive in that end?
Hopefully. I mean, hopefully there's a chance. There's always a chance, teams, for something like that. But, it comes with the mindset, I feel like. If you're coming into such a big tournament like DreamHack Masters after all this, and your initial mindset is that we are a PUG team, we're just going to run around and do whatever, then there's a long way from going from that state of mind into a state of mind where we're going to prepare, we're going to watch demos of the opponents and try to create a game plan and be, a well-rounded team. It's just two different worlds, to be honest.
Well, let's hear from one of the members of Rebirth in this interview, because I like to drink a 6-pack, you have a 6-pack, and we got a 4-pack for the interview.
4-pack. Oh, he gets away with it.
So in the game against Triumph, we were playing as a pug. We were pug AGLing.
How was that gone wrong?
But since Reggie wasn't here, we had to play with Exotic. Worked out pretty well. We're all fitting as a team together pretty well too. Triumph played well, but I feel like they still underperformed.
It's a big setup. Penny making contact. Curry's gonna get the kill back far away as well. But Curry with the 3K.
Well, going forward, playing Chaos, I feel like we have no pressure on us because we're the underdog. I feel like we're just gonna have fun and do us, and then do our best, obviously.
And I always think that that is a scary thing going into a game. If you don't have that pressure and you go up against the favorites with it, how many times do we see the favorites end up in a bad position? And right now what we saw from Chaos, if they aren't practicing right, if they're not ready for this kind of a style, then for them, this pressure could be just one of the things that benefits Rebirth even more.
Is that not the best moment for Rebirth to play against Chaos? First of all, sure, they have no pressure on their shoulders. Chaos definitely the favorites. Also, we heard from the interviews, doubt, not exactly sure what's going to happen for the future. Do you give you 100% if you're having second thoughts about what's going to happen next week? I think for Rebirth, that could be an opening.
It could be, and it should be. And it should be, again, a question of them seizing the opportunities. I'm having a hard time, standing here and justifying that I have to take them 100% seriously if they can't take themselves seriously. So I want to see that on the server instead of just talking about it.
Well, let's discover what maps we're going to get here, boys, because when it comes to the map veto, you would say that Chaos should have the better map pool and how things can work out for them, and a PUG team would look for potentially more puggy style maps.
You are correct. The problem for Rebirth is that I do believe Chaos will remove Mirage, which is basically their best map, highest map pick rate, highest win rate. Whereas both teams hate Vertigo. I think it's going to be floated, so I'm not exactly sure what we're going to see. Mirage is actually open, and Vertigo is not floated by Chaos.
Okay.
To me, that is already a surprise. I'm not going to pretend standing here that I'm an expert on these map pools, right?
Agreed.
But based on the numbers, I'm surprised to see Chaos going for that Vertigo ban.
Mirage overpassed. So Mirage, you were right for Rebirth. We saw overpass already from Chaos.
Yeah, we saw Junji fly all over the map and try to find opening kills. Not really having the success he wanted to with it. You know, he redeemed himself, and then we have Train as a last
it's the second most played map for both teams, at least picked. So
it makes sense, right? But it's really hard to like deep dive into a map pool like this. We don't really know, and if both teams are coming in saying that we don't practice, we don't really spend time on the server, then it's hard to know what they prepare and what they come in with. So sure, judging by the maps, you know, Mirage always fun to watch a bit of FPL playing out on Mirage.
It's a good map for it, right?
Yeah, it really is. And when it comes to overpass, I think that's the same Kane Train. You know, you have to have a little bit of understanding for each other if you want to be good in Train. So it could be interesting.
Quick predictions now, guys, from us here. Obviously, Chaos are the favourites going into it, so I'm going to start with just going Rebirth. Why not?
Oh, that's the route you're taking.
Boy, it's worked out so far.
You know what?
Nothing makes sense in
No,
LA.
I'll follow you on that one because, as I said, I think that's the best time for Rebirth to beat Chaos.
Okay.
So if I ever gonna take a risk, that's gonna be now. What about you, man?
I've seen Junji play, and I think Junji is fantastic to watch on the server. I think he fits in well to the FPL narrative, and I think Junji is just gonna run around and kill everyone. So
what we do now, we do Junji's face on the predictions. I'm like,
just
Junji's gonna win, but he's gonna win with chaos.
Okay.
All right, then.
Okay. I like it. I like it. A couple of Rebirths in there. Maniac went with me. I'm not sure if that was a good thing or a bad
I
thing.
feel comfortable taking that risk.
You feel comfortable taking that risk. All right, well, it might be a risk that works out. We're going to have to wait and see. We're going to a quick break, but when we come back, we'll be delving into our opening game, our opening map. It is going to be Mirage, and it is going to be Chaos taking on Rebirth. We're going to be kicking things off on Mirage. It's an NA matchup between Chaos and Rebirth. And while Rebirth may not be the favourites going into this one, as a pug team as they have been called, Mirage should be a bit of a home ground advantage for these guys. We'll have to wait and see how it all goes down. And to take you all through the madness, you've got myself, James Bates, you've got Pimp, you've got Maniac. And to be fair, I never know what to expect anymore in these games. There's no logic, there's no reasoning behind this.
I expect it to be a bit all over the place. I expect it to be somewhat fun. You know, at the end of the day, you know, an FPL game style, you know, can be fun to watch. You know, and sure, there's some individuals on the teams who have been playing at a somewhat high level, so they can make the right decisions at the right timings and be great players on the server. Sure, team synergy and all that kind of stuff. We're not going to see Astralis playing Liquid right now, that's for sure, but it can be fun and it can be interesting.
What I'd like to see is a team being able to utilize all the fun and interesting aspect of playing FPL, but cutting off the mistakes, right? This is what we'd like to see. I'm all up for aggression. I'm all up for duels, hands-on Counter-Strike, messy Counter-Strike, sure. But whenever you get the power play, whenever you have the clutch for you, then close the rounds. Just control the madness for a second here. We have seen teams lose rounds. That shouldn't really happen. I mean, yesterday I saw my first 1v5 not bomb being planted situation. I never saw that one before. So if you just skip that part and stick to the madness, I'm happy with it. I'm cool.
Well, guys, it's time for us to aim high with the US Air Force and have a look at our head-to-head going into this match. It's always an important factor of seeing how a head-to-head can go down. And of course, it's going to be Jonji, the master plan he had of trying to sneak forward as a solo player the whole way through, going up against Curry. Now, remember Curry from playing on Triumph in there. He is a capable and skilled player at times. Finds himself on Rebirth right now.
We have two of the best entry fraggers of the tournament so far. 1.35 for Jonji, 133 for Curry. And if we are going to go in a savage, wild game of Counter-Strike, these are the people you'll be looking forward. We talked about Jonji. We said he became a meme in that first series because in the first map, he could never done anything dumb, and then in the second map, he was a god.
Yeah, he turned up, you know, he redeemed himself and was by far the most impactful player on the server. So, yeah, he had a rough one, but as you said, you know, two entry fraggers, two players who just never steer down from being aggressive.
And when we're looking at this, right, aggressive style is not just between these teams, it's also what we've seen from a lot of NA. When you guys have been doing the analysis, at times we go for something that would make sense normally, they'll pull something out, they make it work, and you go, how, like what? And it's just so crazily different. But for these guys to practice, they know how this is being played out. So many forced rounds, so many cluttered rounds.
But let me make this very, very clear for anyone watching out there. There's a big difference between being aggressive, relentless aggression, and being somewhat stupid in the game than being aggressive, you know, but thinking about it. Look at a player like Art. He's one of the most aggressive players out there, but there's a meaning behind the madness. There's a, you know, team synergy that is following up on his aggression. There's a teammate behind him. There's a plan with the madness. You being aggressive, you just being mad on the server without having an idea about what you're doing, that is not being aggressive. You can't hide behind that, you know. You can't go into a field and say, I was just being aggressive. You have to have a meaning behind it, you know. And I'm so tired of that whole logic behind, you know, yeah, well, I died, I was just being aggressive. There has to be a meaning behind the match.
Just as much as I absolutely agree with you, I think Art might be the one that's on the line because he pushed his aggression to the absolute limit.
Sure.
What if you're a new player, Counter-Strike, you watch him play and you think, well, wait a minute, I can do that. What also people miss is that Furia are organized around his craziness. Exactly. There is a reason, there is a logic to the madness again. But just as an individual, you cannot just watch his POV and say, I'll do the same. No, you need to have all these protocols in place, someone behind you ready to refrag, maybe a pop flash or something. So I agree with you. Art is a good illustration, but you need the team structure around it.
Team structure is certainly what we expect to see more from Chaos, though, right? They should have that in there, but we didn't see it on some of the maps we saw just a couple of days ago.
I mean, it's a team that has been together for quite some time, right? They had Steel to be part of their lineup, and back then they tried, they were practicing, and they were doing somewhat decent, you know, producing some results. But I was thinking to myself, sitting at home, okay, there may be some guys in here I have to look out for the future. So they have been at a point where they could do that. It seems to me like the way John G explained himself in the interview, that they know that the future is not looking bright for them, so they're just thinking the mindset is, okay, let's drop all the stuff that we worked on. Let's drop all the practice we've done and let's just go in there and play FPL style. I don't think that's necessary. If you want to play as a team, I think you can beat a lot of these teams just by that fact.
Just as much as it is human, you know, to drop in terms of motivation when you're not really sure what's going to happen, you have uncertainty towards your future, I think it becomes a vicious cycle because the fact that they're not playing so well because they're doubting means that no one wants to take them, which means they're doubting, which means they're not winning. You see where I'm going with this? It's a circle, right? Yeah. It actually takes a lot of resilience to decide to carry it through, to power through this hard period and try and have results, even though all of the outside environment is against you or uncertain.
Just also a quick note to that, right? If you're the supportive element of a team and you know you're not going to look good on the scoreboard under normal circumstances, why would you do that now if everyone is just rushing around and playing the FPL style? You want to make yourself look good so you can move on to the next team or somebody out there can take note of you. So that whole synergy, that whole, you know, plan ahead going into a game, that goes missing a little bit when you're in a situation where you've already decided that, well, we're not going to try as much as we probably could.
As much as I love to hear from you guys from start to finish, right? And as much as I love the podcast we get to have on every now and again, we could be here for a long time and we have 2 best of 3s to go through with all us 3 doing it all. So we're going to kick it to a break real quick. We'll wait for the servers to get themselves ready and the players to get on top of it. We are finally ready. The NA memes continue as players decide just to disappear. But you know what? They're here now, and that's what it's all about. To come and see some Counter-Strike action go down. They're currently sat in spawn, but we'll get the pistol round underway real soon. You've got me, Pimp, and Maniac to deliver you some more madness. We're starting on Mirage. It's Rebirth's pick, and Pimp is pointing at the screen because
we got 5 players on the server from each team, and I'm so excited about that. Everyone turned up, everyone is ready, everyone is down to play some Counter-Strike. Maniac, we saw Chaos yesterday, the day before that, not play too well, but still winning. And Rebirth, they highly surprisingly won their first game today.
What's the time in NA right now?
Depends where you are, -6, -9. And then for now, it's time to see Zeppa and what he can do from CT small with that USP. A little bit messing around, but that shot is clean onto Curry. Targeted by all. Bomb is in front of him. Somehow save him. Someone do something.
Oh my. Phantom, you know you have to plant, son. Come on.
Not if you kill.
Do you really want to rely on that, you know? More kills are going their way. Still actually a winnable situation for the CTs, but that might turn it around. Carson, I'm guessing his name's Carson, the backwards name. Marky delivering headshots. Marky does only have 3 health and a Dream, and that Dream's going to be shut down. Carson getting it done, wastes out the Zeus. That could have been valuable. We could have had some fun with that, mate. Why just get rid of it.
I mean, we had headshots, and at the end of the day, that's what we are looking for. Good pistol round from Carson, 3 kills. Well, Marky trying his best. Interesting enough, Exotic is playing for Rebirth. I thought Reggie would be playing, which is supposed to be their 5th player. They talk about him in the interview, so Exotic is here. And he said in the interview, we had to play FPL Puggy style because we were not with our full lineup. Is that going to be the case today again? It's going to be something to keep an eye on. We talked about how Mirage would be a map pick, and obviously they start on the T side. They need to show us why.
Yeah, I think both teams are going in with the mindset that it's going to be a bit of a scrappy one. It's going to be a bit of that Puggy style, and let's just accept that fact and, you know, not touch too much upon it, because I think you're spot on. You know, Mirage is a map that plays into that. Right. Even if you have 2 teams who are playing a lot together, sometimes it goes into that Pug style where it's a lot about reacting to what's happening in the beginning of the round. So we know what's going to happen. We know what we can expect. And James, you're pointing.
Yes, I'm pointing because I'm looking at a very basic default here. 1 towards A, 1 towards B, 1 out on underpass right now.
It's called
just that unusual
classic
spot. Yeah.
anti-eco default.
How many times are we going to see this just in general from Rebirth? I'm going to start counting.
It's about the small things in life. You speak about small things, that smoke is definitely not in window. I guess it should have been there, but it's not. So you have to use that Molotov to clean, not to be consequences as we see on the minimap. No one is playing here. Chaos have elected to strengthen the A side as much as they can with 3 players, and it's just going to be Jonji towards the B bomb side. He got Marky behind him with a scout, but looking by the minimap, Rebirth is about to split that A side.
Curry with a Mac 10 in hand, and that is such a beautiful weapon to have when you got to rush through a smoke, rush in towards the bomb side. Currently, 3 players are located towards A. Exotic and Curry, they're moving in. 25 seconds left. 2 guys stacked on the bridge, and they are going down with ease. Vanity doesn't get anything done, and Rebirth will win the force buy, or against the force buy, that is. Jonji getting a single kill right here, but that's about it. Commiseration frag and cosmetic frag, as I like to call them. Marky will have to try to save the scout, and given the investment, Chaos can't be too happy about that.
Cosmetic frag. I like that.
I like the term too.
Yeah.
Is that what the lady is?
Sounds very
makeup on my
beautiful.
face, like a cosmetic frag on me.
They're trying to fix the damages for you.
Ah.
That's the way I hear it as well. Speaking of damage, Rebirth did quite a good job at minimizing them. Only 1 victim in that anti-force buy. It was quite clean. They took mid-control.
They played it smart, you know, as James said, you know, a default against an Antico, waiting for the pushes and grouping up at the very last second. I guess that's exactly what we do want to see.
Again, we go back to the discussion of playing FPL Puggy does not necessarily mean making mistakes. It's about keeping it easy, nice and simple, but it's not a huge organizational challenge to say, boys, we're going to just hold the map for about 25 seconds and then we move on to the second step of the round. So I'm hoping that Rebirth can bring that kind of style. But now they should be good to go.
Yeah, it's about seeing them doing it when it gets into the pressure, right? We saw it yesterday when the game all of a sudden turned Puggy. It was fine in the beginning, both teams, they had a plan and they executed well. But at some point, the pressure will be applied, and if you can stand tall against that and still stay somewhat structured, or at least somewhat calm, well, then you come a long way. And I think that is the key to victory, honestly, for many of these American teams. So there's no reason for them not to try. That's all I'm asking for. I don't ask them to be the best teams out there. I don't ask them to be playing at the level of Furia. I just ask you guys to try.
Speaking of trying, Rebirth, they're hitting them with a curveball right now. They just deployed a double smoke, put down a Molotov towards bench. These are the normal steps, the normal protocols to attack the A side, and we see on the minimap what a crazy reaction. 4-pack, though, is going to be completely swarmed by USPs and whatnot. But as they realize, it's been a ruse. They've duped you, they've lied to you, and you didn't see it coming. They have the B-bomb side.
They do have the B-bomb sites fully under their control, but they still need to be careful as the CTs want to pop on out nice and quick. But now they're going to be halted. Carsten dealing it onto Zephyr. And Lethal, he's trying to back away, was tapping with the 5-7, but he's not finding any success with that one. Rebirth should be very comfortable now for the rest of the round, even with Vanity having that AK. He hasn't got armor. The aim punch will be far too high, and him and Marky are just going to back away. They're walking away, and they might walk out to their doom. Vanity, surely you just get the hell out of here now, bro. There we go. Marky's there to back him up. Do you really want to risk losing this AK? Well, actually, they're just going to do more damage. Look, okay, fair enough. I underestimated him.
Expensive for Rebirth, but a round is a round, and I think at the end of the day, when you play this sort of Puggy style, it's all about winning the rounds, not so much about optimizing all the small details. I think that's too much to be expecting for these guys, so at least you're off to a good start. 3-0, not bad, and so far, so good. Matthew?
Not too bad indeed. Not too bad for Rebirth. That is the start that they were hoping for. I'm keeping an eye on the investment. There's going to be just 1 AWP on Vanity, actually 4-pack, also with the big green. Judging by Rebirth's pathway, the A execute should be on the cards quite soon. It's one way to approach the T side. You just hit them with a straight A execute. Vanity is currently towards middle, so chances are he's going to be negated with these smokes. Let's see if he can have some impact.
Good execute so far in terms of the utility being used. Chaos completely blind at what might be going on around them. This could end up being a 5v5 retake unless Vanity can pull off a golden shot. Phantom straight in with a plant. Some nice nade damage going through, but Rebirth get the plant and fall back. Now they'll be in their positions ready and waiting for Chaos to push in.
They have very little utility, very little position. So something needs to happen for Rebirth, and we see the peaks. They're thinking about it. They want to go for the fight. I don't think they can afford just to stay in their position.
Ooh.
The wallbang's going to come through. Exotic, not good for this work. Curry got the kill, but Jonji is too fast now. 4-pack the AWP, missing a key shot. It's all falling apart.
That is all falling apart. Jonji getting that kill was absolutely huge. 4-pack now needs to try and save the day. It's not going to be possible, and Phantom goes down next to him. A really clinical retake from Chaos there. They had the utility, they had the positions, but they also hit the shots.
Nice execute coming in. It's very simple, but it was nice, well executed. They got the bomb down, they retrieved back, and yeah, you come into a problem when you don't have much utility. There was one flash on one player, and that should have been used to perfection if they were to have any chance of winning this round. Unfortunately for Rebirth, they couldn't do that, but maybe they sold themselves a little bit short in that pre-game interview. So far, I think they're attacking this game as a well-coordinated FPL team at least. So they're doing a good job right here. Jonji, of course, going for the duel. Aggressive as always. We're going to expect that happening over and over again in this game. And if you already now by map 1 starts to be successful, we saw what happened on map 2 and map 3 the first time they played. He was by far the most impactful server. No, he was not the most impactful server, the most impactful player on the server. And if he can replicate that performance, then Rebirth, they have a bit of a problem on their hand.
Rebirth now rethinking the approach. They wanted to take that mid-control, but Jonji convinced them not to. Currently gathering up towards the A side. They have the utility needed to execute once more. We've seen the round previous how easily they made it onto the side, but the second step was the one that posed them issues. Not able to convert that post-plan situation. We see now the utility is being deployed, and it's gonna go down. Leaf is alone on the side at the moment.
Execute is coming in though. While it will be a little bit delayed, Molotov are firing in around Leaf now. Jonji finding a kill with the AWP. Leaf as well in a good position. Doesn't get anything though. And Jonji has been pushed out, but it's a bad smoke towards CT spawn. A little gap makes him able to hold towards default. So he's well aware the bomb is being planted, but not at default. Pushing in, getting another kill. This is Jonji, and that's it.
Clean.
Round over, done and dusted.
Clean, clean, clean. It does feel like, on the side of Chaos, they so far have accepted the idea of giving up the A side, but they believe in how they're going to retake it. It's been successful twice in a row, very little casualties. So if you are Rebirth, you need to rethink the approach. Sure, getting the bomb plant is great, and it is part of the success, and it's going to guarantee them buying into the next round, but you have to figure out how you're going to convert these situations. Maybe taking jungle control, maybe pushing through the smoke towards CT spawn. Staying defensive so far is not working out.
Not at all. Pushed them into a bit of a rough spot when it comes to the money. Not a lot to work with. Upgraded pistol, that's it. Good flash coming in towards Connector Seppa. He's been caught off guard, stays alive in the smoke. Nice play, but that's it. Leaf with the backup though. 1, 2, 3 fast kills. Him and Marquis shuts them down. Leaves only 4-pack. Exotic together, and that's it. Jonji, of course, going for the duels, finding an additional 2 kills. Jonji seems like he came to play today, and I think that is, for me at least, a big win condition when it comes to Chaos. He's good, and when he's good, Chaos looks good.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking at Jonji and Vanity when you're seeing what this Chaos lineup can do, and we saw the risks he was taking on Overpass. We definitely were not too happy with it from Jonji, but then on the following 2 maps in that first series, he was able to get it done. He was showing us that sometimes it does pay off for him. Now in a 3-3 situation. Rebirth pack with guns in their hands. Not a hell of a lot of utility though once again. Jonji took the pop shot, can't make it work, gonna get smoked out, and actually this time Rebirth do pull off the window smoke.
You can just see whatever he does on the server, he always tries to find a way to fight. He always aims towards fighting.
He's gonna be looking for these windows of opportunity. One missed smoke, a flash that's a little bit late, and he's gonna pounce on them. But for now, Rebirth have survived the first few steps of the round. They've taken mid control. They still have both A and B control with anchors firmly established, so no, this is quite yet. John just gonna open up the debate with Fandom. Good trading coming in for 4-Pack. He took that opportunity. He had half a second to peek from Palace. It's exactly what he does. 4 versus 4 usually favors the T side, but we see Jonji scanning, prodding, looking. He wants to have more impact.
Yeah, Jonji's always asking for another challenge. Another kill he might be able to get, but maybe he overextends here and 4-Pack could find him. That molly, though, is going to help it out, flushing back. 4-Pack now having to move himself away.
Jonji's taking so much map control right now. If he hits this shot,
easy.
He will. That's bombed down towards ramp. Now the T's are in a horrible position. Sepa finds a kill as well and is falling apart for them again. Jonji missing a shot. There may be an opening. 20 seconds left. Definitely still a possibility for Rebirth. 2 versus 2.
Quick shots being taken by 4-Pack, and for some reason Marky went and challenged him for it as well. Now it is all up to Vanity, but there's not much time left. The bomb can still go down, and it actually has. Did Vanity spot anyone off? The incendiary grenade is going to be perfect. It's going to force a player out, but he's fighting with the pistol. He wins it with the flames, backing him up. Now it's 4-Pack to take the challenge and get the ace. He's on 4 already. Vanity's low. He's just a tap away. The smoke is down. He's tapping out frantically. He's not hitting the shot. He gets it. Nicely done by 4-Pack. The ace achieved as 4-Pack comes from Palace. He's completely Molotoved out. He can't help his teammate. He wanders into the site and he deals all the damage. He picks up all the kills and he shuts down Chaos.
What a beautiful, beautiful round from 4-Pack. If we go back in time just a little bit, it starts with Jonji missing a shot.
Yes.
Uncharacteristic from him. He had the opportunity to take him down. That is right here, that moment. But I have to be honest, 4-Pack did everything he could. Picking up the AWP, picking towards jungle, and making the difference all the way.
Great job by 4-Pack. Also do want to say, Jonji, there was no reason for him not to fall back and just defend the bomb, which were dropped on dropped on the ramp. So it's again, as you spoke about, Matthew, coming into this matchup, it's okay to play Pocky, it's okay to play FPL style of Counter-Strike, but just eliminate the mistake. Jonji should have never been in a position where he could even miss that shot. Had he just defended the bomb towards ramp, they would have won that round 9 out of 10 times. Unfortunately, he got a bit greedy, went for the duel and lost it. And then 4-Pack showed up. Nicely done by him. Of course, Jonji finding another opening kill in this one.
We have to keep an eye on his entry kill. So yeah, I feel like we've been saying his name quite a lot in these first few seconds, so we need to keep an eye on him. Speaking of keeping an eye on Marky, will be tested in about 10 seconds, I believe. He's got the backup offset Jonji with the AWP Molotovs being deployed. Marky heavily repositioning, but the spray is complicated. Jonji with the first one. Not able to calibrate. Curry is here for the trade. Good job. Vanity has an idea about that jail position. Molotov will force his opponent out. He's dancing in... Kirby, you're burning, my friend.
He didn't need to move. He does just about. Still alive, 30 health to play with. Zephyr is going to be huge, but he is spotted out to take a few shots at him. Giving away his position, and that's real nice. 4-Pack. An incredible round on the previous. He's still fighting for it now. They should all know exactly where Zephyr's coming from, but they are low. They are softened up, but it doesn't even matter. Curry hits the headshot. 5 rounds now up for Rebirth.
17 HP combined. That was the difference between 1v3 and not. 17 HP, good attempt. But 4-Pack steps up once more. Is he going to be the hero? It feels like in these later stages of the round, when it comes down to trading and moving around the map, he's an absolute god.
He showed it. He showed us why. Now we're going to see pistols only for Chaos.
Apparently 4-Pack does all it. He'll be caught off guard inside apartments right here. Vanity finds a nice kill on towards him. That's an AK secured for Jonji. I think that's important to give him something to work with. He wants to work. Marky lucky to get the Stepa through.
No, that was Stepa. That was Stepa window.
Okay.
We good. I was about to lose my mind.
Oh, it's about that. It's just like the random spam that you get away with.
B-side has been completely abandoned. Now it's Curry alone. Oh, get caught off guard by bad timing right here. Still alive though, still kicking. Can he get a kill? Nope.
No.
Goes down to a USP of Leaf, and now 4-Pack in a bad position. Has to use the smoke. How are they going to go fight their way back into this one?
Could this be 5 players still alive? No, Phantom is going to take them all down, but he's all alone. They've grabbed themselves some weapons to play with now, but the pistols, they reign supreme. And Chaos, they come through, chipping them down, taking them down from every single angle. A full rush, complete aggression coming out from Chaos on a round that actually makes sense.
They were so precipitated in the way they attacked the B bomb side for Rebirth. I mean, that right here is a punish and a half. No smoke towards window. This shot is just beautiful. I have to say it's clinical, but then Rebirth, after doing such a great job in these gun round clutches, they actually dropped the ball when it comes to the anti-eco round. allowing Chaos to fight back into this game. And now they are in a dire situation. They only have one AK to play with, a Scout, a Galil. It's not going to be too easy. Still have 5 rounds on the board for the T side. It's not too bad, but they need more.
They definitely need more. That round is going to sting, but it's all about how they bounce back from it. Okay, they don't have much into this round. Very unlikely they'll get away with what Chaos just managed to achieve. And it hasn't started off too good from at all. Despite us being on round 10, Phantom only up at 2 kills right now, not quite hitting the mark. He'll be the first casualty of this round.
It's been a back and forth affair so far. Marky finding another kill. Johnny, of course, searching for it as always. Curry with a bit of an opening here. Nope. Gets taken down by a Leaf, and that leaves the 2 boys from Rebirth in a 2 versus 5. One of them with 1 HP. Carson, best of luck with that Scout. It's going to be tough for you. Vanity missing a shot, though, makes it somewhat easier. And there we go. Leaf takes one down. Nice shot by Carson. Can't hit the second one, but still does some damage towards Chaos. And now it's 5-5, as you said. I think we got exactly what we expected. A game that is back and forth. We see small glimpses of brilliance. We see glimpses of teams who know how to play correct Counter-Strike, if I dare put it that way, or at least smart Counter-Strike. But we also see whenever they do get pressured, there's some flaws within the system. Yeah, lack of system, I guess.
Yeah, I guess, you know, Chaos can be a system in itself. You can be functionally dysfunctional. It's one way to look at life.
That's my life.
In general.
There's a psychologist coming out in you.
There you go. Sometimes I can just hit you with the knowledge, hit you with the
Would that
philosophy.
be my life in a nutshell, you'd say?
I'd say you're comfortably flirting with the limit at every turn.
I would say he's self-inflicting pain.
I'm not exactly sure, right? Because he still enjoys what he's doing. It's just you're
doing
Your body can only take
pushing it
so
to the end.
much.
Right. Round number 12. I want to say Rebirth have done enough. I'm not exactly sure. I might be jumping the gun here. 5 rounds on the T side. It's not a map that is as close as can be. And
My
with
stomach tells me right now, Chaos, they feel pretty confident.
Also, okay, so what are we doing now? Is it your stomach doing prediction as well? Should we have like a Pim's belly?
You can have a cam looking at my stomach, you know,
Pim's belly.
if you want to.
Pimp 6-pack.
I don't have one.
Pack.
I'm 4-pack. I'm like 4-pack.
Oh, okay.
I have 1 pack. I have a gigantic pack. That's my belly.
I've just got big old belly muscles. Sumo style.
What is that?
That is where I just roll over the opponent, charging forward. Much like Chaos have been trying to do in this round, but instead they're met with Rebirth.
My stomach is lying for sure. Definitely trying to fight back, and he does fight back together with Jonji. It was looking very good for Rebirth, and now they find themselves in a 2 versus 3 4-pack. Will have to do it together with the mate, and he does.
He's on point, man.
Yeah, he really is. Marky fighting him, taking him down though, and now it's a 1 versus 1.
This is where Phantom shows his worth. This is the round he needs to pull out the bag.
Okay.
He's not been having the greatest of games.
What does your stomach say right now?
I try not to listen to it. I try to just watch the game and realize that the mental warfare has been won by Marky so far. He's been sticking on the B bomb site, and that is a good call. Unfortunately for Phantom, he's running around. So there is really no way out of it. Mark is just going to buy this time. Sneaking from behind.
Oh no.
Like the Pink Panther. That could be just your horrible timing. Wait a minute. We could have a very weird situation on our hands. He lost track of him. He's not exactly sure. He ran around the corner.
Oh no.
Phantom could actually win that clutch without even seeing his opponent. Smoking the bomb is not going to be enough. He needs to tap it. If you don't tap the bomb, there's not going to be any reaction, Marky. I say that though. He jumps the gun. Phantom tries to go through the window. And Marky wins a clutch that used to be or could have been easy and turned a little bit ugly.
He played it well though, right? Like he may have lost track of him, but that smoke was used as a good bait. He frees the smoke going down, means the Teeth hears it and thinks, oh, okay, maybe he's going towards
yeah, but the
it
tap
now.
should be coming through. You have to react to the tap, not the smoke only.
You're thinking logically, like EU Counter-Strike.
Yeah, I'm trying to do that while you're singing songs in my ear. I'm like,
I was doing like the little James Bond movement, you know, as he was trying to sneak away. He's going to come out.
yeah, I can see you as a Bond villain.
See?
I'd buy that.
Like Jonji is playing like a Bond villain. Killing everyone around him. Doesn't give a damn about anything, to be fair. Once again, going for the opening pick. Not quite connecting though. For the first time in a long while, nobody has died within the first 20 seconds of the round. That in itself is impressive at this point. 7-5. Oh, I mean that, seriously. 7-5 is the scoreline, and as Matthew said, you know, it's a game that's going a little bit back and forth, but I'm not too sure if anyone are comfortable with this scoreline.
Look at the defense right now. Everyone is congregated towards middle. They want to fight. They want to retake it. Jonji is just leaving his position, rotating towards CT spawn, and the second step of the round is started by Rebirth, but it's a complete disaster. Marky from Catwalk and Leaf and Connector, they all collapse in one big explosion, a big blue ball on the face of Rebirth.
Blue Man Group, part 2.
I guess. Yeah, that's the thing, the Blue Man Group. There we go, there we go. Thank you for saving me on that one. Didn't know where it was going. I just decided to go with it.
you know.
That's what I gotta do. I gotta take risk, man. I gotta take this lyrical voyage to somewhere sometimes.
Where are you
about the
taking
destination.
Where are you taking it?
Taking it to Fun City.
Fun City.
Exactly.
Where's that?
Headshot City. That's exactly where Rebirth is going right now. The full eco round against Jonji with the AWP. Not the best gun you want to have, but the first shot is through. He's got some backup with Zeppa, but the P250 is just what he might need. 5v2 quite quickly, 20 seconds playing into the round, and for Rebirth. Oh, did he just... Wait a minute! Did Jonji just shot no-scope 4-pack? Is that what I just witnessed?
It looked like it. He might go for some more as well. Curry's trying to tap away with the Deagle. Will get a kill, but he's instantly traded out.
I want to see that. Yeah,
I want to see that. Go on, production. Yeah, Jonji's losing his
look at his
mind.
reaction. He knows what he just did. He knows.
You
He's
remember
like,
what
what up now?
Look at this. Oh! That is nasty.
Oh, slower. Oh, boom!
That's it. I'm calling the police.
You remember what happened a couple of days ago on Nuke as well?
He did it jumping on Nuke down into Secret. Yeah,
with an
with the AK. Jonji, don't go to Valorant, bro.
No,
We
you
need
gotta
some
stay.
more of
You
this.
gotta stay.
You could be NA's home.
I mean, Liquid could use a player who shoots, but talk about that later.
Wow. You're no longer wanting to join Liquid anymore again, Pimp?
They called me the other day and I had to say no.
Ah, so you let him have Jonji.
Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, they can't afford me.
Jonji's just hitting shots now.
Yeah, not sure they can afford him either. He's a really, really good player as of right now. 4-pack with the op though.
Uh-oh.
It's getting messy.
They're into each other. They literally bumped into each other. What is this? Oh my god, no! 4-pack! A slight chance, a big error, and a kill.
Okay,
Nice
let's
try,
look at
bro.
this. Let's look at this. Curry has kitchen control. Market is absolutely his. For Exotic now, the challenge is to take the bomb and successfully rotate towards the B bomb side. But as you can see on the mini-map, Jonji, who else, is already on its tail. He's going to double back towards spawn, and here Curry has a beautiful opportunity. 2 quick kills, great spray control. But where are the rest of his opponents? That is the question. That is the enigma that he needs to solve. Vanity is on the A side with an AWP, and I don't believe his position is known. He's going to have to do it on alone. Did he check? Well, that's it. The information's out there. He goes for the AWP peak, but Curry's too fast. This guy's winning the round on his own.
It's a chance. It's the 6th round they desperately need. They started off so good here on Rebirth, and then it all quickly fell apart. Chaos started to find their form on the CT side, but if there's one player you don't want to go up against in a 1v2, it's Jonji, who's worked his way through Connector. They're typing to each other now as well, because why not? Let's add some banter to the mix. We should see the chat. It's probably more entertaining.
I don't know about that, but you're right. There's a lot of typing. Jonji, though, running out of time, running out of options, has to go straight for the bomb now. I'm having a hard time seeing how he's supposed to win this one. And he won't. Curry takes him down. Good little round here from Rebirth, fighting back at 9-6. It's far from over.
It is far from over. We've still got a second half to go, and this is only map 1 between Chaos and Rebirth, so make sure you're back here after the break.
I'm calling you. So I'm calling you to let me through, and I reach for you. This time I won't let go. So I'm calling you to let me through, and I reach for you. This time I won't let go. This time I won't let go.
What's going on, guys, and welcome back. It's Chaos taking on Rebirth as we go into the second half of Mirage. Chaos are up 9-6 as Rebirth grabbed a round they oh so desperately needed because they started off pretty strong and then it all fell apart on their T side. They ran out of ideas. But Maniac, have they done enough now, do you think?
What I think is that they need to shut down Jonji. They absolutely need to shut him
Yep.
down. He's on 21 kills after one half. He was absolutely lights out, peeking everywhere, having a ton of impact. Chaos now hitting him with the fake. We saw a couple of utilities being thrown towards the B-bomb side, but that is a lure, that is a fake. Exotic, man, your position could be everything. Bite your time, take it easy. That's the bomb on the ground. 2 quick kills. Zeppa will be good for the trade. Jonji is doing his very best as well, but it's a 2 versus 3. Quite complicated. With the USP, tap, tap, tapping away. 3 HP now, decides to still go for the fight. I can respect the idea.
Almost getting away with it. Not this time around, though. Vanity finds him. So does Carson, though. Leaves it up to Jonji with just 21 HP and pinched in between 2 players. What are you going to do here? They're still fighting.
Jonji's something else as well. His aim, his crosshair placement, it's on point. Despite him being on low health from the start of this fight, he's been able to dance around them a little bit. Carson and Phantom just need to play smart here. Do not give Jonji the opportunities. They're still ducking, they're still diving, they're playing around the boxes and taking pop shots.
They should be good to go. They should be good to go. The line that he has to cross from short is extremely complicated at that. Phantom is posted, feet planted on the ground with that USP, and with 7 HP there's really no place for mistake. And there you go, 1 shot to the belly, and he is down. The pistol round is won by Rebirth. Chaos tried to put in a little bit of a fake, but Exotic, sorry, his position was key.
Yeah.
Put down the bomb, and with that, the round was really too complicated to pull back.
That's a nice shot by Curry right here. Good second frag towards Tetris. Very important for him to stay alive. We had the player head-to-head by the Air Force coming into this one, and Jonji, he's winning that one quite big right now. 5-7 in opening duels, whereas for Curry is 0 for 2 right in the first half of the game. So 2 best entry fraggers in the tournament so far. One of them is showing it, and another one has gone missing.
Maybe he can wake up on his CT side. They start to hit his site. Right now, the B site's being hit. A couple of good kills going their way for now. And Phantom, maybe this is his time to shine. He's going to wake up, but he can't quite get the last kill. A bit of damage done. But Marky eventually finished off.
That was one big bait party right there. I felt like none of the Chaos players actually went for that duel towards the short guy. They were poking him constantly instead of just all 3 going at the same time. They made it super, super easy for Phantom right there to take 1 duel at a time in a position where he was pretty much locked in up against the wall. So good job by him, but again, Chaos, that didn't look good.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty, right? It really wasn't pretty.
We have now the one-man army being used by Chaos. We see the lone AK on Zeppa. He's also got a Kevlar, so it's all on him. We'll see probably a flying Glock just to take the line of sight away from 4-pack, and then I should see Zeppa going in for the white swing. Chaos are biding their time, giving the opportunity they made to come in, and then we have the flying Dutchman, and Zeppa pounces in for the kill. That is exactly what was supposed to happen. Good flash. Curry could not make it out of here, but somehow he's alive.
He's alive.
It's a 2v1, and Carson put 1 more on the board. Jonji is dead.
I expected Curry to be destroyed the moment he tried to run away. He was flashed out completely, but they could not finish him off. And Marky won't find any success in the window, and Phantom's in a great spot to at least get 1 more here. He can hear the footsteps, he can hear what's going down. Now he's grabbed the bomb, he spots out the next player as well. Doesn't take the shot, but Zeppa, he's caught in mid. But they do not want to isolate themselves in a bunch of 1v1 fights. They do surround him, but they come together as a team, and Rebirth are reborn on the second half as they get a 9th round and tie it up with Chaos.
Dun, dun, dun. We have a game on our hands.
All right then, suspense
I
is
thought
in
he
play.
was going to start singing the Rocky one. Dum, dum, dum.
I guess that would have been fitting too, right? That would have worked. Rebirth now on their map pick, 99 on the CT side. We talked on the pre-show that Mirage would be picked if given the opportunity, and so far so good. They're making good on their promise. Chaos with a very standard type of approach. Just one player to get it to middle with Vanity in the back. Double anchors towards the A side. So as soon as one of these find a kill, whether Marky on Leaf, the other one will pounce. Kirby is dancing in the smoke with the MP9. That's a duel that Marky could win with the AK. It could decide it all. That's a shoulder right here. But the MP9 is too quick. That fire rate, so pesky. But as I talked about it, Leaf now, he's taking his opportunity.
What an opportunity that was. That was a nice shot. And another fight going the way of Leaf. That's nicely done by him. Gets refragged instantly, but it's a 3 versus 3, and the A side is now a bit vulnerable if they want to go for it. They decide to slow down, plan it out, and what's the next step here? Phantom, inside ladder. Seppa may have something to say about that. They seem like they want to go for the beast pit. Oh, Seppa, he's past him.
Carson now with the M4 in the flames, and Jonji combining with Seppa's presence towards Catwalk was enough to take him down. You thought Rebirth had all the position they needed, but after all, it did not matter. 24 kills for Jonji, 116 ADR moving in this round number 20. A beautiful round, but it's all about Leaf and all that impact he found from the apartment. I talked about that double anchor setup and that second kill. Floor bang, absolutely nasty.
You love the word floor bang.
It is my favorite word, and I have to give credit to Connor Scrona. He's been the first one that I heard say floor bang. He's probably not the first one in the world, but it's the first time I heard it. And I said, floor bang.
I don't need to know about you two floor banging each other.
Why you gotta put such a dirty spin on it? I'm just talking about Counter-Strike vocabulary. James,
I know how much you love him. Yeah, I understand you guys have got a relationship going on. But
you gotta have tight relationship and spend so long together, right?
Yeah, he has a girlfriend, man. So do you. Think about it. It's unacceptable.
I don't know what kind of message you're putting out there. You know what is unacceptable is Phantom peeking in from short with that P250. Exotic is combining as well. It's all falling apart for Chaos. They have to stabilize the situation somehow. Xippa is in a pure nightmare. And just like that, Rebirth are now in a 4 versus 2. They've recovered 1 AK. Vanity is only on a Glock. How the hell did that happen? He picked up the Galil. Oh, that was nasty.
I can't no more.
Carson is out.
I can't. That was just insane. I've never seen a Glock from that distance with a burst on it. Why on earth would you even do that? That's fantastic.
Why am I talking about him not having an AK? He doesn't need it.
No, just give him the Glock and put it on burst. Vanity plants the bomb. Exotic and the rest of Rebirth, they find themselves in a 3 versus 2. Retaking the A-bomb side on Mirage, as per rule, is not that bad of a task, but there's no kit as far as I'm concerned. No utility, a single smoke. And Marky, well, he does not know where to look. He's exposed towards CT spawn.
Oh my god,
wow.
Marky, that was perfect. He domes 4-pack. Now Exotic's got too many corners and angles to clear, though. He needs to go fast, and he's running out of time. He needs to discover Vanity. He checks it, but he doesn't see it. Vanity, he's played the sneaky smart game the whole way through. The pistol goes up in the air. He doesn't want the Glock anymore. And Exotic may win it, but he will not defuse it. And Chaos get an 11th. What a crazy, wild round.
Because Marky and his teammate are playing so close together, the second Marky finds that double kill, the round is over. Because Vanity would never think to look for a second opponent in that perimeter. He basically becomes invisible. We could see what I call the alibi check. He just went for it. But also, we have to touch on that absolutely disgusting burst coming out of mid. I am confused. In a positive way. Slightly confused.
Mate, you go for those Glock burst shots and you're not hitting them 9 times out of 10. He gets the golden one, which keeps him alive to close out the round in the end and give Chaos a nice lead now. But they need to hang on to it. And 4-pack, well, he's having none of it. He wants to push back, and he's got the opening kill in this round. Exactly what they needed with the AWP in hand. Yeah. And it's a full buy. Not as much utility as what the T's have here, but the money is still not great for Chaos. It has been expensive rounds in here. Rebirth need to get a convincing round without Curry going down like that.
That's Leaf again, finding impact inside A apartments, or A palace, depending on where you're from and what you call it, but big frag from him. Reducing the 5 versus 4 to a 4 versus 4, and just gotta say, Vanity, you know, peeking into connector like that without a flash, that's always gonna be dangerous, especially when you know you're up against someone who bought 4-pack, good for hitting the shot. He's been good with the AWP, good with the rifle so far, good with the pistols. I think he's played a good game.
The timing.
Oh,
He needs more.
Go back sword.
Found it.
Oh no.
Now what Chaos needs to do is stay alive because John G has just taken the most unpredictable position ever. We see on the minimap 5 is following 9 and somehow Phantom turns around while Leaf makes it good on Exotic. It's all falling apart for the defense. I thought that would be okay. Now Marky, Zeppa and Leaf have only 2 opponents to dispose. It's Carson and Phantom. 8 HP on the ladder. There's a couple of smokes, they could play with it.
Easy.
But Leaf puts him in the ground and that should be it. That should be the kill that decides it all. So something actually quite funny happened on the minimap. I got very excited by it. You know, John G found his way towards the entrance of Market.
Yeah.
He let an opponent walk by him, and then he lost that duel. So probably something very, very special happened there. But it didn't matter. Chaos had enough bodies, enough position, and enough space to close that round. 12-9 for Chaos. We talked about them being the favorites in this matchup, and so far, so good.
Yeah, they definitely were the favorites coming into this, but we believe Rebirth would have brought us a new lease of life. The Pug style to try and work out from against a team like Chaos, but no, Chaos today, they've decided to show us the better face, at least so far. There's a few rounds that have been close, there's a bit of back and forth in all of it, but John G this time, he really is the X factor when it comes to this Chaos lineup.
Absolutely. He's been stellar. He's been fantastic. One of the main reasons why Chaos sit now 4 rounds away from map number 1. But if there's anything that has been recurring in this game is that teams have issues against pistols. This time around, Zeppa will not be fooled. Takes out Curry quite easily. And we send John G, the madman, with the MAC-10. It is so fitting to see him on the weapon, going in for kills, going in for information. Look at this, he's having the time of his life. Headbutting D-pack, and then another one onto Exotic. That is just bang. He's making money.
He is making money. Won't make any more for now, though. That's more than enough. It might help him out quite a lot. A few shots trying to be popped off with the Deagle, but it's not going to work out. Carson making that money, making rain. Pressure being applied. He nearly gets a bit more damage done on towards Zeppa, but overall, Chaos not really tested in a round like that.
So what is the reaction for Rebirth now, James? What do they do? I feel like it's hard for them to take conclusions and actions and change the course. They've lost middles a couple of times. We saw John G invading their inhabited in window. They have to keep an eye on him for that. So far, Chaos is again playing towards mid. They have that top mid smoke with a squad going down underground, 2 players. One of these standard way of taking Mirage, or at least the first few steps of the way. Vanity, though, strikes first. That's Carson out of the picture. He's going to push on the advantage. But does he know about his opponent right below him with the AWP? That is going to be complicated. Good Molotov will push Phantom out of position. Means he's got to run away, but that is just a fake, just pressure. And leave. Oh, he might be punished here. And he wins the duel against Curry. I thought he didn't have it.
Yeah.
Proved me wrong.
Timing didn't look like it was going to be on Leaf's side.
Leaf on the ground. It's the season, right?
Yeah.
Curry tried to step on the Leaf, but it didn't go crunch.
Probably slipped. It's very dangerous at the time of year. You should be
wet
really,
leaf.
really careful.
Dangerous. Yeah. You should be. One thing you have to respect though on the server as well is 4-pack. His performance so far has been good. He's dropping off in kills, you know, only at 13, but a lot of them have been impactful. This one could very well be as well. Missing the first chance, and John G instant punishes him for it. And another one goes the way of Vanity, and that is it.
And another one.
There should be no way for Phantom in this position to do anything about this. All you can hope for now is saving the AWP, and Chaos find himself up 14-9. Decent CT start, but the T side so far, well, basically, what I stand back with is a feeling that they win the important duels, they win the important clutches, and when you do that on a map like Mirage, you often end up winning.
Oh, Phantom's not having a
It's gonna be
chance
complicated. It's about to say, man, life is gonna be real tough in the next 5 seconds.
He got dinged and they were like, surround him. It's game over for you. And nearly game over for Rebirth as well. Some more typing done in chat. I guess that means, haha, unlucky.
Just having a good
Going
time,
down.
talking with each other, right? It is kind of painful for Rebirth because they could finally have that full buy coming in, and Vanity started the worst possible way for them, finding that kill onto Carson. And that was anything and everything they needed to create rotations, to force moves. Curry punishing, or rather punished, when he pushed towards the app.
Oh,
That's
hello.
a good way to start the round, as I mentioned.
Oh!
Second one! Ooh, we could have a round on our hands. 5v3, but how many times have we seen Deagles make it rain this week?
These Deagles continue to make it rain as well. Leaf is the next to fall. Only Marky and Jonji left. Pretty good duo out here. Carson wants to continue to fight this off, but Jonji will better him in this one. A lot of damage done. The Deagles are still popping off, and it could be a full Deagle round if Marky is not careful. He dispatches of one and straight onto the second Phantom again. He's not been quite in this game, and he really has been struggling. But with Marky on 5 health, surely this is an easy cleanup now for Rebirth. As Curry, he finishes what he started. What a great round from him.
Stay alive. They keep kicking, and they find a round, making it double-digit against Chaos. With the limited purchase they had into this round, that's going to be good for their economy. Those two frags with the Deagle, that's impressive, right? Even the first one, that could be tough, but the second one to readjust, that's some skill right there for Curry. We talked about him coming into the game, and he's finally starting to wake up. Top fragging right now for Rebirth. And I guess if they want to come back in this game, it has to be from him. 4-pack, he's kind of slowed down after an impressive first half. Hasn't really hit anything in the second, to be fair. Jonji as well, slowed down a little bit. He was at 21 frags in the first half. Only 7 to his name so far, but still within reach of a win and a 30 bomb.
What more can a man do with 28 kills? Jonji's the man of the hour, but you're right. His impact was mostly found on the first half. And if Chaos want to be closing that one out, they will need him. Now, interestingly enough, they put down the wall of smoke towards short, which to me suggested they wanted to be split. They either changed their mind or they had it in their heads all the way. Now it's an A execute, but only 2 defenders on site.
Smoke's going over. Chaos getting ready for this A push in. Exotic, though, is exactly what he needs to do there. Now trying to keep himself alive, but the spam comes through. That's the problem with that position. So easily found, he wasn't able to back away. And Zephyr, straight through the smoke, says, Curry, don't even think about it.
It's unfortunate for Curry. Has to retake. Phantom finds a kill. 2 versus 3. Decent amount of utility, 2 flashes. Question is, where can you throw them? Where can they be useful?
Oh.
Nowhere, because Marky is just going to take you down, and 4-pack out of the action. Not even close towards his teammate. Can't refrag, can't do anything. And even if Phantom would have gotten a kill, that was a long rotation for 4-pack to even get into the side.
He watched him die, though. That's one of these,
cool.
movie moments.
Good view
where
as well,
exactly, that's a perfect view. You see your best friend getting stabbed in the movie and like, no! That's exactly what happened. 4-pack's going to do good on keeping that AWP, but he's had trouble, converting that, and that is an even bigger yikes. Jonji makes it to 30. He's been an absolute power, a force to be reckoned with on that Mirage. The man that we mentioned now head-to-head is proving us right. Stepping up big time.
Match points secured and not a lot of money in the bank for Rebirth. You can see a couple of FAMASs, AWP, and then 2 SMGs. Less than ideal, but we've seen crazier things. They pulled it off with the Deagles.
Yeah, that's why we see that kind of aggression coming in from the FAMAS. But it's going to be thwarted by Chaos, and their utility is a little bit of damage on 4-pack, so he leaves the ground, leaves the premises. Curry now, we need you to step up big time with that AWP. Good flash being used, denying him the opportunity, and it's just map control taken by Chaos.
They can't afford to give this
Jonji,
map control to a player like Jonji. He takes full advantage of it as Curry, a big whiff coming out. And a big punish from Jonji, who's not done yet. He's spraying them out, he's spraying them down. He's up at 33 kills. There's only one more player to find in Chaos. There is surely no way they can lose this one. Jonji has gone on the hunt. Jonji has been tagged up, but it doesn't even matter because Zephyr sideswipes him, puts an end to it, and they get the 16th round. Chaos dominating here on Mirage, but realistically, Jonji, he was dominating everyone.
Impact everywhere, I would say, and especially in the first half. He got 21 kills, found 6 opening duels, and he was here, there, and everywhere. With the AWP, with the pistol, with the rifle, he did it all for Chaos. Definitely redeemed himself in that first game yesterday, where he was bad on overpass. This time around, he came in hot, blazing, and by far the most impactful player on the server again.
He was a beast. He was an absolute beast, and I can't wait to see him on the second map.
Well, let's see what's going to happen when we get to the second map, because right now we're going to be kicking it to a break. Chaos, they dominate on their opponent's map pick. Could they be on for the quick 2-0? Chaos managed to pick up Mirage, and it was clear, clean, and decisive from the first half, because when it came to it, Rebirth seemed to run out of ideas very early on their T side. They swapped them over to the CT side, and they could not handle the pressure. They could not handle the pace. John G was an absolute madman.
John G was a madman. 11 multi-kills, 6 for 8 in opening duels, doing all the work, both with the rifle, but also with the AWP. He was putting a fear in towards Rebirth throughout that entire game, doing a good job. When you come to think of it, they won both pistol, Rebirth that is, right? Converting both of them as well, and still losing 16-10. Realistically speaking, it was never really that close.
No, I agree with you. I don't even think the scoreline makes justice to that game. Chaos were one step ahead. Individually, most of all. I think, obviously, John G is the one we need to mention, but Vanity, with the AWP at times, had a couple of entry kills. We talk about these clutches as well. So Chaos being as favorite, but acting as favorite as well.
Now, I know you guys love NA Counter-Strike, right? And we will talk more about this matchup real soon, but I got something special for you guys. We're going to take a look at some of the seeding that's coming out here for the playoff bracket here for Europe. And my, oh my, this is looking so good. Gambit will face either G2 or Astralis, right? I'm just picking that one out straight from the gate, because all the other ones on there you can kind of go, oh, okay, normal type of matchup. Those Gambit boys are going to look to rock someone's jaw, and both those teams are not looking so good.
I feel a little bit sorry for Gambit, right? Because they're showing such a good face in the group stage.
What do you mean? They're going to win?
Yeah, but you go into the first bracket game and you're going to face either G2 or Astralis. Sure, they haven't, won their games, and that's why they find themselves in the lower bracket, but still, it's going to be a big mouthful for Gambit.
Yeah, I mean, also probably feel sorry for G2 or Astralis, because one of these two teams is going to leave us quite early, and they both could be candidate for a long run. So it's a crazy matchup, but I just love how confident you are, James, when it comes to Gambit. It just fills me up with confidence.
You know what? They do their preparation, but I know other teams out here in the name maybe don't do their preparation as much, but it is Chaos's pick when we come onto this next map, right?
Yeah.
And I say they don't do their preparation because they don't even know what's going on right now with the team, but what they do know is they've got 5 individuals that can play some pretty high-level Counter-Strike, right? This was better on Mirage. How are we feeling, though, going into the second map? Because I feel very scared if I'm a Rebirth fan.
So, if you're a Rebirth fan, you can rejoice about the map that Chaos played against Regrets on Overpass. They had issues. They only were able to win 6 rounds in their defense. They lost 9 of them. That was really complicated. They were struggling to find a solution defensively speaking. They were too aggressive.
Yep.
That is the map, if you mind. That is the map we were talking about, John G and his aggression, having no one behind him to help him. He was pushing down Fountain time and time again into Connector. No one was here to save him. He looks good right now. So is he going to do exactly the same?
I think he's going to do the same. I think he's just going to do it to a better extent, right? He's going to do it with more success, and I think that's going to be a big problem, to be honest.
Well, I was going to say to you, Pimp, right? Maybe he heard what you guys are saying and someone does back him up?
Well, hopefully. You can only hope, James. You can only hope that someone would listen to the smart mind of Maniac and myself, but I doubt it.
You doubt it? You don't have any hope that they might have been listening and paying attention? John G gives us a good vibe.
He's just overselling us right now.
I don't
man.
think so.
I'm not overselling you guys. I believe in you guys. You give me the smart stuff all day long. But we are going to Overpass next. It is going to be Chaos's map pick. If they can get a big win here, they move on forward triumphantly. But they have to be careful, because we saw what happened last time. We'll see what actually is going to go down in the game after the break.